Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, By and the Moments That Made Me Smile Without Knowing and Quote. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't and oppose. Like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. I came into my life without any dramatic entrance. There was no grand rescue, no rain-soaked cardboard box on the side of the road, no heroic story to tell. I simply appeared one ordinary afternoon, as if he had always known where he belonged. He walked into my home with the calm confidence of someone returning after a long walk, sniffed the corners of the room, and chose a sunny spot on the floor to lie down. That was the moment I realized something had quietly shifted. Bai is not a cat that demands attention. He does not cry loudly for food or insist on being held. Instead, he lives in the gentle spaces between moments. In the early mornings, while the world outside is still half asleep, Bai follows me silently from room to room. His paws make no sound on the floor, but I always know he is there. When I stop to make coffee, he sits nearby, tail wrapped neatly around his feet, watching as if my simple routine is the most important event of the day. It is often in these moments that I find myself smiling without realizing it. I might be tired, thinking about deadlines, responsibilities, or unfinished tasks. Yet somehow, when I notice Bai blinking slowly at me or stretching lazily in the morning light, my face softens. The smile comes before the thought. It happens naturally, without effort, without intention. During the day, Bai chooses different places to rest depending on the mood of the house. When the sun moves, he moves with it. When I sit down to work, he curls up beside my laptop, close enough to feel my presence, but not so close that he interrupts. Sometimes his tail flicks gently against my arm, a small reminder that I am not alone. These quiet gestures create a rhythm to the day, turning ordinary hours into something warmer. Bai's presence does not change my schedule, but it changes how I experience time. Minutes feel slower, softer. The house feels more alive, not because of noise, but because of companionship. I realize that happiness does not always arrive in big moments. Sometimes, it slips in quietly, wearing soft fur and moving at its own gentle pace. Living with Bai has taught me to pay attention to details I once ignored. The way his ears twitch when he hears a distant sound. The careful steps he takes before jumping onto the table. The way he always checks a room before fully relaxing, as if making sure everything is safe for both of us. These small habits tell a story of trust built slowly, day by day. In the afternoons, when the house becomes quiet again, Bai often chooses to nap near me. He does not demand affection, but if I reach out, he leans into my hand with gentle acceptance. His purring is soft, almost shy, yet steady. It feels like a conversation without words, a shared understanding that this moment is enough. There are days when I come home feeling heavy. Perhaps work was stressful, or life felt overwhelming in ways I couldn't clearly explain. On those days, Bai senses the shift immediately. He sits closer than usual, looks up at me longer, and waits. He does not try to fix anything. He simply stays. And strangely, that is exactly what I need. One evening, I remember sitting on the floor, leaning against the sofa, feeling emotionally exhausted. I walked over, placed one paw gently on my leg, and stayed there. That simple gesture, so small and quiet, made my chest feel lighter. I smiled again, unconsciously, realizing how deeply an animal can understand human emotion without language. Bai also reminds me to slow down. When I rush through meals, he sits patiently nearby, not asking for food, just watching. When I stay up too late, he yawns exaggeratedly, stretches, and goes to bed, as if inviting me to do the same. His life is guided by instinct and balance, and being around him gently pulls me back toward a healthier rhythm. Through Bai, I learned that connection does not require constant interaction. Sometimes, sharing the same space, breathing the same air, is more than enough. This quiet companionship builds a bridge between two very different worlds, reminding me that understanding can exist beyond words. The smiles Bai brings into my life are not loud or dramatic. They are subtle, often unnoticed at first, but deeply meaningful. They happen when I see him waiting by the door, when he curls into a perfect circle on my favorite chair, or when he looks at me as if I am his entire world. These smiles accumulate over time, shaping the way I see both my life and my relationship with animals. Living with Bai has taught me responsibility in its gentlest form. I have learned to care, to observe, and to respect another living being's needs and boundaries. In return, Bai offers trust, comfort, and a sense of belonging that cannot be bought or forced. This mutual respect forms the foundation of a healthy relationship between humans and animals. In today's fast-paced world, we often forget to pause. We chase goals, worry about the future, and replay the past. Bai, however, lives entirely in the present. He reminds me that joy exists in simple moments: a warm patch of sunlight, a quiet room, a familiar presence nearby. By observing him, I learn to appreciate what I already have instead of constantly seeking more. From this story, we can take meaningful lessons into our daily lives. First, slow down and notice the small things. Happiness is often closer than we think. Second, practice empathy, not only toward people but toward animals as well. Animals may not speak our language, but they feel deeply and offer companionship in pure, honest ways. Finally, build relationships based on patience and respect. Trust grows when we listen, observe, and allow space for others to be themselves. Bai's quiet presence has made my life richer in ways I never expected. Through him, I understand that a better world between humans and animals begins with kindness, awareness, and the willingness to share our lives, not as owners and pets, but as companions walking gently together through everyday moments.